one is particularly more in the gamer end. We're going to talk about NVIDIA GPUs. And the RTX 50 series was announced at CES this year. And you have the final prices being the following. The RTX 5070 is $549, pretty standard low mid-range GPU. You have the 5070 Ti at $749. You have the 5080 at $1,000, which is essentially their flagship-ish, but the big boy is obviously the RTX 5090. It will be a whopping $2,000, and that is quite expensive for GPU. A lot of people were actually expecting the prices to be higher overall because of how much NVIDIA kind of likes to jack up the price based on not only just the fact of like the raw hardware they're putting in there and the brand being essentially having this brand tax, but you also have the claims about their AI software, their AI upscaling, and their frame generation technology that is helping these GPUs along a bit in terms of performance. So what Jensen on stage essentially said was that the RTX 5070 will deliver RTX 4090 type performance at essentially a third of the price. And this is obviously with a huge asterisk. The RTX 5070, I believe, is a 12 gigabyte VRAM GPU, and the 4090 is a 24 gigabyte VRAM GPU. How is this possible, you ask? Well, with their RTX software, the DLSS 4, both features, which are the AI upscaling and the AI frame generation, give you better performance in games for the most part. And people have their mixed feelings about AI upscaling and AI frame gen, where people say it's fake frames or it's just not the native experience. And to those people, I do support your personal preferences on what you do with your hardware. That is perfectly fine. You can do everything natively, and that's totally okay. But in terms of it being fake frames or just a pointless tech, I don't think it's that pointless, especially when you have, apparently, the RTX 5070 delivering 4090 performance under certain circumstances. Now, while obviously this is relatively misleading marketing, that you're obviously, in terms of raw power, you're not getting there, and the software is sort of a stopgap for a lot of those things. You also neglect the fact that in terms of raw performance, combined with something like DLSS 3.5, which is on the previous GPUs, the 4090 would smoke the 5070 if it actually had the AI software helping it out. And this is definitely something where I have mixed feelings. I actually pulled this up on this video. Essentially, in terms of AI upscaling and AI frame gen, AI upscaling essentially takes a lower resolution image that the GPU is rendering and upscaling it, allowing it to look better on, for example, like your 1440p monitor. Your graphics card might be rendering it at 720p, and then upscaling it to 1440. And you can't notice the difference that much when it comes to DLSS upscaling. But FrameGen is a different story because FrameGen essentially inserts frames in between the frames you would be normally rendering with the graphics card with an AI algorithm. And that has mixed results for a lot of people in particular. The upscaling, I think, is a bit different with a lot of people. I think people do enjoy the upscaling tech a little bit more. But in terms of frame gen, it definitely sees a bit of its own criticism in the tech world. And what we see here is the DLSS 4 being exclusive to the 50 series. And obviously, the company has to advertise their products with something new. But at the same time, I can't help but feel that in terms of, the actual DLSS 4, that instead of being treated as this relatively useful technology for graphics processing, it is often used as a sort of, twist of the arm for you to buy the next big GPU. And obviously, for someone like me who's been rocking a 2070 Super for the past 5 years, I'm definitely due for an upgrade. I think I would probably get a 5080 if I got a new graphics card because I definitely want at least 12 gigs of VRAM, and the 5080 is about 16 gigabytes, and it's a pretty fast card overall. I probably wouldn't even consider the 5090 because I'm poor. Uh, but it still doesn't sit right with not only me, but a lot of other gamers, PC gamers in particular, that these types of features like DLSS 4 are walled away to the new hardware in order to make a profit when they could be just as useful on older hardware. Because this software can be used on other series GPUs. It could be put on the 40 series or the 30 series, but they just decide not to do it because obviously they want to sell the new GPU. And there are plenty of, you know, well off people or people that have nothing really better to spend their money on, and they will go buy the 5090. And obviously, that doesn't sit well with someone who actually needs to pay bills. So, overall, I'd say the AI tech for DLSS is very useful. I think it is a very good feature and software to use with GPUs, and it will only help hardware. But if companies like Nvidia continue to sort of jack up the price and leave these features exclusive for that reason, a lot more gamers and PC enthusiasts and people who build PCs will be ever more increasingly upset with the fact that they have to go out and buy the latest and greatest in terms of hardware when the software is right there that could help something that's already, still good, you know? So that's what I think overall in this situation. Obviously, a lot of the performance metrics, like we have these are on Nvidia's website, so take them with a grain of salt because when the reviews come in, they might be different. But it seems like there's generally a lot of increase in performance all around, but I am skeptical in terms of just pure raw performance because a lot of this is, DLSS and ray tracing. DLSS 4 and, all the AI techniques that are allowing these processors to reach new heights essentially. So obviously we have to wait for reviews to come in, and hopefully I can get my hands on a 5080 or, be able to build a PC in general this year. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the Nvidia end. Good tech. Don't think it's as useless as people are making it out to be, but I don't like the fact that Nvidia are walling it off for the sake of profit when they already are one of the most valuable companies in the world right now. Yep.